Hi, welcome to Actual Spinster. My name is Anna Marie, and before I get into the video, there is a link in my description box to a GoFundMe to help Allah and her family whilst they're stuck in Gaza. If you could check that out, I would really appreciate it. So today's video is going to be my Victober TBR. We're going to park the fact that I've only read one single book in September and we're going to act like it's possible to read, which hopefully it will become more possible soon. I'll leave information and links and things to all of the hosts and stuff in the description box below. There are a lot of challenges and a lot of hosts this year, and I definitely will not be trying to read as many that fit the prompts, and yeah, trying to keep it very low-key, even though I have quite a long list of books here, but there's really only one that I really want to get to. I am kind of disappointed. I would like to be in a better position in terms of my physical / cognitive well-being than I am for this month, but that's okay, and maybe I will still be able to read something. So yeah, I mean, a book that I kind of put in this stack, but I think I probably shouldn't, but this is Esther Waters by George Moore. It's from the 1890s and it's about a working class woman. There's basically no way I would read this, so I think we'll just park that for now. I do know that some of these books will definitely cover some of the challenges, so I guess when I remember / think of that, I will say. The book that I would most like to read this month is this, A Sunless Heart by Edith Johnston. I got it last year, I think, after last year's Victober. I let myself get it. It's about a relationship between two women. I think it's very intense and emotional, and also is about poverty and really difficult life. It does also look like it I'm trying not to read the whole back because I just don't want any spoilers, and I feel like these books with classics tend to spoil things on the back, but it does say the final line is exploring issues of race, sexuality and class in compelling prose, A Sunless Heart is a startling rediscovery from the late Victorian era. So there definitely seems to be also a lesbian continuum character to this novel, and also it says, yeah, it seems it might also kind of fit a sort of one of the prompts is to spot stuff related to the British Empire, and I think maybe this will have some stuff in that too. It is also quite short, so maybe kind of a lot to cover, but yeah, really interested to check it out, and that's the main book that I want to read this month. Quite a few of these books I've definitely shown before. One of the books I originally had hoped that I would finally get to this Victober, if I was in a bit of a better cognitive reading situation, would be Aurora Lee by Elizabeth Barrett Browning, which is a poem. So there's not no hope for this, it's just all of these others, I guess, are less likely and a less priority, I guess, unfortunately. I think this is about a woman in terms of being a creator in multiple capacities, and I've been really intrigued to read it for many years now, so it would be great to read. And I think also it would fit one of the other prompts, which is maybe to read poetry, play or non-fiction, just not to read a novel. Here's a book I've also shown before. Again, this was kind of my original plan of if I had the capacity, then I kind of wanted to read these 3 books as my Victober reading. But this is The Rebel of the Family by Eliza Lynn Linton. I think this novel, it is in some way on the lesbian continuum, explores lesbian consciousness, but I think it seems like a really interesting novel about the position of women. I obviously fell in love with the title from the beginning, because I think that's great to be the rebel of the family. Well, the next 2 are 2 books I got recently. They're both short story collections. This is Keynotes and Discourse by George Edgerton, and this is Hauntings and Other Fantastic Tales by Vernon Lee. This one I got the most recently. I think it was in my summer book haul. This is a collection of stories from this woman from the 1890s, I think, and yeah, they focus a lot on women and their kind of their subjectivity, I guess. I also read or started to read a critical piece about one of the stories in here and its representation of music, and obviously Keynotes and Discords, that is a musical term, right? Certainly Keynotes. Is Discords also a musical term? I don't know. Obviously you can play discordant sounds, so maybe, which made me quite interested in them. They are realist stories as well, which I am pretty interested in too at the moment. Yeah, I don't think I'll read this whole collection or anything, although the pages are quite large. The text is pretty small, unfortunately. But yeah, I think these seem pretty interesting as kind of reflections on women's position in Victorian society and life. And then this is, I think there is a challenge to read something fantastical, and I think these like supernatural tales would maybe work for this. This is first published in 1890. I want to say Vernon Lee is kind of writing in a decadent vein, but I don't actually know if that's true. I do know that I think these tales will be like interesting in terms of gender and sexuality, partially because of Vernon Lee themselves, herself, himself. Yeah, I think decadent is maybe the correct term. So definitely very different vibe from these stories, I would imagine. So it could be kind of interesting to like compare the vibe, considering they're from like the same decade of the Victorian era. And then the final book I have on this kind of fake TBR, I guess, hopeful, I don't know, is Desperate Remedies by Thomas Hardy. I know there is like a Hardy book for the month of October. I don't remember if it's one of the ones I've read actually, but it could be, that'd be kind of cool. But this is his first novel, and I think I have access to an audiobook of it, and so I thought it would be nice to read, like to have something to read on audio, if I can then concentrate enough to read the audio. Although I could also try to read and to listen and read at the same time, because that might help me out. So yeah, I wanted to put this on because I thought that would be nice. Sorry for always being like out of kilter with everything that's happening. Yeah, not sure if there's anything more to say. Apparently this book is very like unlike later Hardy, and is very plotty, I think is what people were saying about it. But yeah, interested to check it out. I always find it interesting to read like the first novel of an author who like becomes quite like famous for a particular style or kind of writing. Like, yeah, it's always interesting. I guess the one who I think about the most like that is Virginia Woolf, because it's so fascinating to see like where she takes the novel form, and where she like began with it. I feel like I've been very pessimistic and unenthusiastic in this video, but I'm not. I just feel like I don't want to stress myself out by trying to give myself too many things to read, and I'm just like struggling quite a lot with reading. I guess we'll say these three are the hopeful ones. The Desperate Remedies, because it's on audio. Aurora Lee, hopefully I can just make some progress with it, and A Sunless Heart as the like main thing I'm gonna pick up. Well, I think that's everything I had to say. Let me know what you're reading for Victober. I really hope that your reading is going better than mine. I hope I haven't been too pessimistic in this video. And yeah, if you want to check out the link below, I would really appreciate that, and I will talk to you when I next talk to you. Bye!